this mother don't know me at all. So after all the time and effort we put into learning one another, I'm supposed to turn around and go do that with someone else? Absolutely not. I'd much rather be single at that point.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing today? I hope that your day is going fine. If not, I hope tomorrow gets better. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone who's tuning in to the videos. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, I ask that you go ahead and do so. And make sure to toggle that notification bell to stay current with all of the videos that we're posting. For those of you who may not know, I've been married to my wife for 12, going on 13 years. And I truly appreciate my marriage. You know, it's one of those things that it takes work, it takes maintenance, but you have to continue to thrive and work on your marriage and grow with your spouse. And in this video, I believe that this lady has some valid points. Check it out.
I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all, all right? I love my husband. Like, I love that man to death. I love our relationship. I love what we have built together. I love being his wife. But if anything were to ever happen where we weren't together anymore, I would definitely not do this marriage. I don't think people really understand the effort that goes into having a successful marriage.
True.
Shit is not easy.
Right.
Do not believe that fairy tale you see on TV.
Right.
Just because you love each other does not mean your marriage is going to work. Love is not enough. It takes patience, understanding. It takes compassion. It takes consideration. It takes forgiveness.
Yes.
It takes selflessness.
Yes.
For the rest of my life, every decision I make, I have to think about how it's going to affect my husband.
Yes.
If you are not willing to have that level of consideration, do not get married.
Right.
Now, me and my husband have been together for 13 years, married for 11.
Good news.
He knows me better than anyone else on this planet, and vice versa. We're at a point where most of our communication is nonverbal. With all that being said, there's still times where he'll do something and I'm like, this mother don't know me at all. So after all the time and effort we put into learning one another, I'm supposed to turn around and go do that with someone else? Absolutely not. I'd much rather be single at that point. I do not understand how people have energy to do that a second time. And of course, this is not to discourage anyone from getting married. Like I said, I genuinely love being married to my husband. But please make sure you understand everything that goes into an actual marriage. Too many people get caught up in the idea of the beautiful wedding that they don't really consider everything that comes afterwards. Yep. Make sure you guys are having the difficult conversations beforehand. Make sure you know their stance on issues that you feel passionate about.
Right.
I think part of the reason the divorce rate is so high right now is because people don't want to put in the work. They see couples on TV and social media and expect it to be like that, when in actuality, you don't know what these people are going through behind closed doors.
Correct.
Real marriage is not all sunshine and rainbows, so if that's what you are looking for, do not get married.
She said 2 mouthfuls on this one. Before I go any further, drop your comments in the comment section. I have to agree with this. I pray that nothing ever happens to where me and my wife is in a situation to where, you know, we are not together and either one of us are single. Now, speaking for myself, I don't think that I would want to go into another marriage. I kind of agree with her on this because you have your whole life invested in one person, and I'm cool with that. You know, when I met my wife, I knew it was a strong chance that I would be with her, that I would marry her. And in today's times, I don't even know, like the dating pool got something in it. You know, I hear all of these horror stories about how the dating pool is now. And on top of that, you have so many other factors into dating. You have so many other things you have to worry about when dating a person. And that takes time, that takes energy. And a lot of times, she said it, like, it's so many wormholes you could open up when you're talking about dating people. And I believe when she touched on social media, that's one of them. Like, we could see how social media affects our personal lives as far as when you get on Instagram or something and you see how people living these luxurious lives. It looks like they're living luxurious lives, but are they really? Are they really? Like, a lot of things are not real. A lot of this stuff is fake. And then when you get into the dating scene, These people base their lives on the fakeness, like filters. Like I said this before. I said people are so used to filters that they don't even recognize the real anymore. And that's something that you have to take into consideration when you're going out here in the dating pool and you dealing with different people. Like, what are their thoughts? How do they live their life? That's a whole lot you could talk about. And one thing that I can appreciate about me and my wife, we've grown to this point. It hasn't always been that we can overcome what we're feeling and really communicate that to each other. Like we're there now. We can say, look, I don't like this. This is how you make me feel. Of course, we're human, so we're still going to have some rejection towards what the person is saying, but we've come to the point to where we can openly say, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to consider your thoughts and we're going to work this out. Yeah, I mean, it take a long time to get there. And it's still things that I'm learning. And here's a vulnerable moment for me. Me and my wife talk about stuff, and I ain't going to let you in all my business because that ain't something you need to know. If you want to know about the ins and outs of our relationships, you could DM or leave me a message, and I can answer that personally. But we had some issues to where we had to create a safe place. And for me as a man, my thought was to be a protector and a provider means to use my bulk. You know what I'm saying? To be a man and be out front and just be out there protecting you from everything. But I also realized that there's an emotional sense of protection that I had to provide. And this is recent. I just learned this. And for me to have to check myself, I was like, oh, I have to create this safe space for this also. So a lot of times as men, we're taught that, we got to use what's the word I'm trying to use? Our brute? Or I don't know if that's a word, but we're thinking like physicalities, like I'm a man, I'm a protector. But no, protection means emotional, mental, all of that. Being a man encompasses all of that. You have to provide all of these different levels of protection. And I hope I'm making sense to y'all, but this is something that I just learned. But to agree with what this lady's saying, I don't think I would want to go out and put all of that energy out there again with somebody else and have to be dealing with all of this stuff. Like me and my wife, good. I like her. And that's another thing. Like you could be married to somebody and not necessarily like them. But I like my wife. I like her as a person. And I think that's so key. That's so important. Like not only love them, but like them. It was a time that my wife didn't like me. But she loved me enough to stay in there. And we were able to talk about it. And the things that she pointed out was things that I was overlooking, just thinking that, okay, I got it all together. But nah, you got to check yourself. Just like she said, it's compassion, it's selflessness. And that's one of the biggest things. Like I could talk about this all day. But it's certain things that I can do and it is satisfying to me, but I know that it affects her. So I tend to stay away from those things or do it in a way that is not affecting her. And why do I do that? Because I respect her. And that's another thing I hear, respect. People don't have respect for one another. A marriage is work. Just like I tell people about getting a house. Everybody be like, I want a house. I say a house ain't nothing but work. That's all a house is, because it's always something you have to do. Same thing with marriage. It's work. Consistent work. Always keeping your maintenance up. Man, I'm telling you, it's a job. But if the person that you're in relationship with is worth it, you'll put in the work and you will enjoy doing the work. Sometimes it hit a little low and sometimes you may not like the things that you have to address, but you have to address it. Not only for yourself, but for your spouse. And I get what she's saying. I hear stories, man, not only from women, but I hear it from men. Like men talk about how bad it is dating. I don't want to know. I don't want to find out. But I agree with what she's saying. I don't think that I would want to put the energy in to someone else and, have to go through all of these ups and downs. Like when I found my wife, I knew that it was a strong possibility that I would be with her. I mean, one conversation did it. And it don't take 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 years to figure out if you want to marry a person. Most of the time, you kind of know. At least in my case, I knew. I don't know about y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comment section. Until the next time, peace.